Imagine drifting through endless waters where predators could strike at any second and still needing to rest. For fish, sleep isn't just a luxury, it's a mystery that has puzzled scientists for decades. Unlike humans, fish can't close their eyes, and they can't curl up under blankets, yet their bodies still demand rest. But how do they do it? How do they shut down without shutting off the instincts that keep them alive? This isn't just about sleep, it's about survival in one of the most dangerous environments on Earth. And once you discover how fish rest, you'll see that sleep is far more complex than you ever imagined. Humans measure sleep with eye closure, brain waves, and dreams. But fish don't have eyelids, and their brains work differently. So what does sleep mean for them? Scientists define it not by appearance, but by behavior. A fish in sleep becomes less responsive, moves more slowly, and seeks safer, quieter places. Yet at the same time, it can never completely switch off. At any sign of danger, it must snap back into alertness. This balance between rest and readiness is where things get fascinating and risky. Unlike humans who need deep sleep cycles, many fish sleep in short bursts. Parrotfish, for example, secrete a mucus cocoon around their bodies before resting, creating a protective shield against parasites and predators. It's their version of locking the door before bed. But imagine if that cocoon doesn't hold, or a predator catches the scent the fish is trapped in its own bed. Sleep for them is never safe. It's always a gamble with life on the line. Sharks, on the other hand, can't even stop swimming to rest. If they stop, they risk suffocating because they rely on constant water flow over their gills to breathe. So, do sharks sleep? Yes, but in their own way. Hey! Enter states of reduced activity, shutting down parts of their brain while still moving. It's like sleepwalking for survival. Yet one miscalculation could mean drifting into danger they never wake up from. Some fish use camouflage to protect themselves during rest. Bottom dwellers like flounders blend into sand or mud, lying still as if they're part of the ocean floor. But stillness is dangerous, too much silence, and they risk being mistaken for an easy meal. They rely on perfect timing and perfect disguise. One slip in color, one poorly chosen spot, and their rest becomes their last. Coral reef fish show another side of this mystery. They rest inside cracks, caves, or coral crevices. But reefs are crowded neighborhoods, and space is limited. Choosing the wrong shelter means getting wedged into danger or becoming trapped with predators. Their entire sleep routine is a calculated risk where safety and suffocation walk hand in hand. Freshwater fish face their own dangers. Rivers and lakes never stop moving, which means fish must rest in currents that could sweep them away. Many cling to rocks, plants, or shallow banks, where flow is weaker. But staying still too close to the surface risks exposure to birds and other hunters. Once again, rest is not a simple act. It's a daily calculation between exhaustion and survival. Another fascinating question: do fish dream? While humans slip into REM cycles filled with vivid stories, fish show signs of rest phases, but not clear dreaming. Some species display rapid eye and fin twitches similar to REM. But if they dream, what do they see? Do they replay hunts, escapes, or migrations? The mystery deepens, because the brain activity of fish is far harder to track than ours. What's certain is that their rest is as layered as our own. The size of the fish also plays a role in how it rests. Large fish like groupers can remain still for long periods, conserving energy while hidden in reefs. Small fish, however, are more vulnerable and rarely risk long rests. Their sleep is fragmented, cautious, and shallow. They live in a constant state of partial awareness. And in their world, one missed signal can mean the end. What about fish in the deep ocean, where sunlight never reaches? Here the rules change completely. With fewer predators, some deep-sea fish rest more deeply, drifting in near-weightless stillness. But energy is scarce in the abyss. Too much rest means missed opportunities to feed, and too little rest means exhaustion. Down there, sleep is an equation balanced on survival's knife edge. Migration adds yet another challenge. Salmon, for example, travel thousands of miles upstream to spawn. Along the way, their sleep patterns nearly vanish. They rest in short, shallow phases, their bodies running on instinct and endurance. But this exhaustion leaves them vulnerable to predators and accidents. Sleep becomes a stolen luxury measured in moments rather than hours. Aquarium studies have given us insight into fish sleep too. When lights go off, fish often sink lower, hover in place, or find shelter. But captivity creates confusion. Without natural cycles, some fish lose their rhythms, becoming restless or overly lethargic. It proves that fish, like humans, rely on external cues to regulate rest. And without them, balance is lost. Fish living in extreme environments push sleep boundaries even further. Cave fish, living in total darkness, have reduced sleep needs, possibly evolving to prioritize constant foraging. Arctic fish, exposed to months of daylight or darkness, adjust their rest to food availability rather than sunlight. For them, sleep is flexible, shifting with survival needs rather than fixed cycles. But this flexibility comes at a priceless recovery, more risk. Predator-prey dynamics shape how fish rest. Prey species tend to sleep less and more cautiously, while predators take deeper rests after feeding. But if prey miscalculates, they're caught off guard. If predators miscalculate, they miss their chance to hunt. Both sides walk the same tightrope, proving that sleep in the wild is always dangerous. Some fish rely on collective safety to sleep. Schooling species like sardines rest within large groups. Safety in numbers means less risk of being picked off. But this creates another tension: too much reliance on the group, and individuals may become complacent. A predator strike can turn into a massacre if the school isn't alert. The group protects, but also exposes. Physiology also shapes rest. Fish lower their metabolism during sleep phases, conserving energy just as humans do. But lowering metabolism in cold waters can slow their reflexes too much, leaving them sluggish if danger strikes. Sleep is always a trade-off. Recover too deeply, and you risk never waking. Not all fish need much sleep. Some species, like tilapia, require less than 4 hours, while others rest for much longer periods. This variation shows how adaptable sleep is in the animal kingdom. But it also shows the price: shorter rest often means shorter lifespans or reduced growth. Sleep isn't just optional, it's directly tied to health and survival. Fish in polluted or human-altered waters face even more obstacles. Artificial lights disrupt their rhythms, and noise pollution keeps them in a state of constant alert. Restless fish become weaker, sicker, and more vulnerable to disease. Human activity doesn't just threaten their food and habitat, it steals their sleep too. And in nature, sleeplessness can be fatal. The more we study fish sleep, the more it challenges our definition of rest itself. Sleep isn't always about eyes closing and deep dreaming. It can mean slowing down, hiding, floating, or simply reducing awareness. But the function is the same. Without rest, life collapses. Even fish, as alien as they seem, can't escape this biological truth. So, do fish sleep like humans do? Not exactly. Their rest is fragmented, cautious, and filled with risk. Like us, they need it to recover, grow, and survive. In their silent world beneath the waves, sleep is both sanctuary and gamble. A fragile pause in a life of constant danger. And every time a fish dares to drift into stillness, it's proof that even in the harshest environments, nature always finds a way to rest. Because without sleep, even the strongest cannot endure.